Hi there, I'm back with the middle of the Prokofiev 6 first movement, and I thought it might be useful to review some of what I already did, to see how it's sticking and what's not sticking, and where the reviews are what they're cut out for. Let's see, I was originally today around 157, if my memory serves me correctly. So I'm going to see what's sticking and what needs work. Oh, I do recall I was 156, that wonderful utterance that really acts as a strong demarcation point. So definitely have written in sostenuto here because I want that clarity and the half note held. It's an interesting discrimination Prokofiev makes, the quarter note in the left versus the half note in the right. I think because the right hand is certainly more of the melody note, even though they both get accents. That didn't work. Why would that be? Okay. I can tell you that's not my fault. It's the piano. These notes should not be being invoked by the sostenuto pedal. So when a technician comes, he'll work on that. Pretend you don't hear that, okay? I think, for convenience for these triple octaves, I'm going to play 5-1-2 in the left hand. Yep. Point about that, if I stiffen my hand or if I worry about missing the black notes, I probably will. If I open my hand, most particularly if I lay my second finger diagonally and flat across the note, it's much easier. Then of course, for a white note is rather different, but I still want to focus my whole hand, as represented by the second, on that D. So, flat, flat, whoops, flat, flat. There we go. To figure out is how much of this represents one unit. In other words, what will give me a sense of fluency, sectional fluency, so I feel that's all starting to hang together. So melodically, there's so much filler, or rather interpolations, the chromatic interpolations that I'm wondering if I'm trying to relate to the identity of this. Now that has an identity. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full measures, 2 phrases worth. And this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, well, it seems to disintegrate. At least that's my impression right now. So I do want to be able to get to it here. That's measure 164. Melodically, then we're going to get interpolated that other chromatic material. So I want to feel that I can get to there and feel a sense of unity. So maybe I'll work backwards. Okay, so it's not a big thing, but it requires thought. The difference between slapping your way through something that more or less works and knowing you can count on it. When I toss my hand from one octave to the next here, it's a 5-4-2-1, 5-3-2-1 figure. C, E, F sharp, A. It's very easy to just slap down the hand here. It's really important, therefore, for me to know what makes it trustworthy. In this case, my strategy is almost always to think about where I place the thumb. So my thumb is going to end up grabbing A. I think it's particularly true when you toss to the fifth finger, because the fifth is inherently on its own, so weak and tremulous. So if I look at the thumb, and if I feel the strength of my hand and my hand position is created by having the thumb involved, it really doesn't matter that it's the fifth that plays. If I play with my awareness of the thumb and how it helps to support the hand, I look at A. In fact, I don't even look at the fifth finger note. And then on I go. So my eyes, I don't need to be looking at the bottom. I know I'm there. So I stick my eye on the A, and then I move in accordance with what gives me that sense of strength. I may, because I'm moving from a thumb to a fifth, I may come toward my body with a little undulation. Well, it certainly feels good. And because I have to leap in the right hand as well, I sneak a peek at the A of the second octave of the right, because I'm going to the thumb, I'm going toward the strength, so I don't need to worry the same way. And then I shift my attention back to the left hand thumb note. There we go, okay. I do remember talking about this before, and these relationships. And this is, whoops, A flat, oh yes. This third relationship, up to the third, to the answering octaves, and then down from the F to the E flat. Okay, so I'm not just repeating sort of mindlessly, I'm thinking of that, I'm reinforcing the thought of how these notes are related to one another. Not having perfect pitch, and not, therefore, even though I will hear the pitch, I won't always be able to identify what it is. So I'm forced to be that much more analytical about relationships. And then this fourth. Blanked. Because of the distraction. When you're not able to focus on the one task that you feel you've done well with, it's usually that distraction is usually what does you in, so you have to automate some aspects of it. Okay, there I needed my mental breath. I need the relationship of F to E flat. E flat there. Oops. And down the fourth to G. G, please. Up a third, down a third. Separated by a fourth. This to there, this to there. I'm going to do, rather than play these broken octaves, I'm going to play solid octaves just to get the sense of placement. I'm reducing the level of complexity, in other words, by making solid pitches here. That's right away easier and better. Up the third, I don't always remember what I told myself that makes it easy. So a large measure of what I'm practicing is that those attitudes, those messages. Sorry. Now the G here. Okay, I should have noticed these are a third apart too. These are a third apart. Amazing how problematical or wickedly, deceptively simple this is. I should add, for me. I'm taking those two fragments and making each of them comfortable. I have to make sure I place my left hand second octave properly. That's starting to click. This followed by that, then this followed by that. If I make too big a chunk and it doesn't feel good, I panic or I feel edgy, uncertain at least. That's good. This placement needs more security. So it's the whole hand position. thumb line. not only is it interesting, but I never thought of it before. Okay, so it's one of those things that as you become more and more oriented to why things